they're dealing with the stressors in their life. A lot of these women are single mothers. They don't have a lot of money. They don't have a lot of you know material things, but they have faith, and they are doing the work, and they are handling the emotional issues that are going on, and they are believing. And that's why I'm telling you is that hey, the body is a reflection of your mind and your spirit. And that's what she keeps talking about is that most of the work has to do with your mind. But let's go over some of these. So, number one is you have to change your diet. Now, when cancer patients started coming to me and they had done their own research and they had taken meat and dairy and gluten out of their diet, and it made me start looking at plant-based diets. And I follow a plant-based diet now. I probably 80% of my diet is plant-based. So every once in a while, I'll eat some fish just so I want to make sure I get enough protein because I'm working out with a trainer now, and he's trying to help me to build muscle mass. But even Arnold Schwarzenegger is saying a plant-based diet is healthier than what he was doing when he was Mr. Universe and all that. So a plant-based diet, I'll tell you, it will help you to control your weight. And the reason why it's important is that foods can cause inflammation. We've talked in the past about food sensitivities as being a stressor. And inflammation is the worst thing that can happen if you have cancer because it weakens the tissue and allows the cancer to spread more easily. So you want to take away anything that could be causing inflammation. And probably the number one thing, other than just toxic exposure from the things that we breathe and we put on our skin, is food. And meat has been shown to increase in a petri dish in the lab that if you add meat protein to a group of cancer cells, it causes them to grow more rapidly. If you take it away, their growth slows down. So meat can be a very potent inflammatory uh, product. And because of what they feed the animals and the stress that the animals are under and the hormones that they give to the animals, all of these can lead to promoting cancer growth. All right, so that's number one. Number two is taking control of your health. I can't tell you how many patients have come to me and said, something told me not to do that chemotherapy. Something told me not to do that radiation. I should have followed my intuition. I never felt good about what was going on. And um, I always say, yes, you have to follow your intuition. And one of the ways to get in touch with your intuition is to meditate. I'm such a big proponent of meditation now because when you quiet your mind, then that inner small, sweet voice will start to lead you and guide you and tell you what is right for you. Because what was right for Miss Harris may not be right for you. I see patients who they decide to do the chemotherapy, but I also tell them here are other things that you can do. I never try and persuade a person to go against their intuition. I tell all of my patients, hey, if I tell you anything that you are not comfortable with, either you have to ask me to explain it further, or you just don't do it, or you research it yourself. I never go against a person's intuition because they know if they're in touch with themselves, they know more about themselves than I do. So always follow your intuition. And when that intuition tells you something, do it. So often you'll say, oh, I had that gut feeling. Well, that gut feeling is your intuition. And when it doesn't feel right in your gut, do not do it. Follow your intuition. You have to take control of your health, just like Miss Harris. She didn't care what that oncologist said. All she went to that oncologist for was to do her scans and to look at her progress. But any information that did not sit right with her, she did not do it. All right. So that was the taking control of your health and following your intuition. I'm trying to take my glasses off so you don't see so much glare, but I need it in order to see my notes over here. So using herbs and supplements. Now, there's all types of herbs and supplements that patients can use. The number one thing that I love is vitamin C. There's over 1,500 articles that show that IV vitamin C can not only kill cancer cells, but probably what it does mostly, it is a great anti-inflammatory. So if you can decrease inflammation, you're going to decrease the ability of those cancer cells to invade healthy tissue, because inflammation weakens the bonds between the cells in the tissue, and it allows cancer cells to penetrate, and that's what causes can be a cause of metastasis. So one, vitamin C is a great anti-inflammatory. Number two, it actually helps to kill cancer cells. And again, you can go on Google Scholar and look up vitamin C and cancer, and you will just see, I mean, really hundreds of articles that talk about the positive results by using vitamin C. And especially if someone is on chemotherapy or having chemotherapy, if they do vitamin C along with it, we bring them in once a week, a day or two after they've had the chemotherapy, and we give them IV vitamin C. And also what we'll do in some cases, if they're using really strong chemotherapy, is glutathione, because glutathione helps to detoxify the chemotherapy so that you can get rid of it, so that it only kills the cancer cells, because chemotherapy kills fast growing cells, and the fastest growing cells are your hair and the cells in your gut. And that's why hair loss and nausea and vomiting are the biggest side effects, or the most common side effects with chemotherapy. But when you use vitamin C and glutathione along with it, it seems to decrease those side effects, and it seems to increase the ability of the chemotherapy to do what it's supposed to do. Most of my patients who are on chemotherapy, they go back to their oncologist, and the oncologist is so proud of how well how well their chemotherapy is working. And I really think it's a combination of the chemotherapy and the vitamin C and whatever the else the patients are doing. Some patients are taking curcumin because that decreases inflammation. Mistletoe has been shown. The herb mistletoe is the one uh, supplement or herb that has definitely been shown to decrease cancer cell growth. Mistletoe, curcumin, uh, medical mushrooms like shiitake mushrooms, and I just encourage you to do your own research, and you do what is comfortable for you, what your intuition tells you to do, because there's all kinds of herbs and supplements, and just like Miss Harris was saying, there'll be the more people you're around, they'll talk about how their sisters, cousins, brother-in-laws, sisters, nephew did this and got rid of their cancer. But you need to listen to yourself. You need to do your own research. You need to look at your own lifestyle. You need to look at your own environment and see what could be contributing uh, to this disease or this disorder that your body is going through, because a lot of times whatever a disease is or condition is, sometimes it's your body telling you something. It's trying to get your attention. When you read Radical Remission, a lot of these people will say cancer was the best thing that happened to me because it shook me up, and it made me look at myself, and it made me change my my outlook on life and what life means and what life is supposed to be. So a lot of times we talk about fighting cancer, but sometimes you need to ask your body or ask your mind or ask your spirit, what is this cancer trying to tell me? And I think that's what Miss Harris is saying. It was telling her she needed to slow down. And I'll tell you another thing, when you help somebody else, it usually helps you. And that's why I believe she started her organization, is that when you are helping somebody else, it takes your mind off of you. And when you are less focused on yourself, it allows you to relax and let your body heal itself. Now, I'm going to tell you, everything that you might take in to try and deal with this cancer, your body has the chemicals and it has the immune system to handle that cancer. You have internally what you need to fight off that cancer, but you have to allow your body to do it. And that is a lot of that is changing your mindset so that your body can do what it's supposed to do. All right. The other one is releasing suppressed emotions. And I don't know if you follow Joe Dispenza, but he talks about how your mind gets into your body. I will tell you that almost all cancer patients that I talk to, I ask them what was going on 2 to 3 years prior to your cancer diagnosis. And they all have a story about a significant stressor or a series of stressors that happen right behind each other. You know, a child got sick, or a child may have died, or they were taking care of their elderly parents for 2 or 3 years, and then they passed away, and how difficult it was to deal with their aging and dying parents, or they had a divorce, or some type of tremendous stress, or these series of stressors that happened one after another where they didn't have the time to recover. And those emotions, they can get into your body. And that's why I talk about stress so much, is that your emotions end up being expressed in a disease because those emotions have been suppressed, of anger, of frustration, of all these negative guilt, resentment, resenting the fact that your brothers and sisters aren't helping you to take care of your parents. All of that, the resentment of your husband or spouse trying to take your kids away, or this long custody battle. I'm telling you, almost 100% of my patients will tell me that story. So I just ask them, what happened 2 to 3 years before? And it is so consistent. So if you see yourself in that situation, you need to change it before this happens. So that's why I said this book is not only about people who have been diagnosed with cancer, but these are the things you can do to decrease your risk of contracting this condition. And I want to get away from I don't know how this happened, or I don't know, you have a cancer gene, you have cancer running in your family. There's no such thing as a cancer gene. There's none. So there are things you can do to decrease your risk of this. So and don't ever forget that. All right. So increasing positive emotions. And that's why meditation is so important. And like she was saying, saying positive things to yourself. Think about the things that you love. Think about the your children that you love. Love is healing. Faith, hope, and love, but the greatest of these is love.